Hi everyone, this is Arna from the DAO's marketing team. I just want to briefly discuss why a small business lender or any financial institution for that matter might consider or should consider converting their traditional landing page into a conversational landing page. Um, so to begin with, I want you guys to check out this side by side I have going on. On the left, we have a traditional landing page. It's something we're all familiar with. It runs on blocks of text, featured images, and a form for lead capture. It's something that most of us interact with at least once a week, maybe even once a day, if you're buying a lot of stuff. And on the right is a new kind of landing page. It's what we like to call a conversational landing page, and it's another take on what a landing page could look like. You essentially take the information on the traditional landing page and you reorganize it so that a prospect has to interact with a chatbot to actually reveal the information and to generate the lead. And the reason companies might want to consider making this switch from the traditional landing page to the conversational landing page is a simple one. Conversational landing page increases conversion rate by 2x. And that's no small feat. I reached this traditional landing page for the American Capital Group through a Google ad. I did a quick Google search for equipment financing, and it was the third link that showed up. And if this keyword tool is to be believed, American Capital Group has essentially paid $28.78, around $30, for my click. So companies are spending thousands of dollars on visitors coming from Google, and as a result, they need to maximize the number of conversions they get when people actually land on the page. And the conversational landing page is a way to do that. And the reason the conversational landing pages like this one increase conversion rate by 2x, sometimes even 3x. It really doesn't take rocket science to figure that out. If I full screen this traditional landing page, you'll notice that, first of all, this is a pretty regular landing page. Most people look at this and they think this is what a landing page should look like. But I'd argue that traditional landing page design like this is fundamentally broken. It's impersonal, it's unengaging. It depends, like if you think about the interactions that you need to make as a prospect to actually finish the lead generation process, you start to realize that they're not very user-friendly. They don't make for a good lead generation experience. You have to fill out this ugly looking form over here. No one likes filling out forms. It causes people to drop, especially when it has 7 fields like this one does. You need to scroll through the page and read these disparate blocks of text to get the information that you need. And what usually ends up happening is most prospects end up skimming this text. They don't really get the full picture. They don't really read everything that the company is trying to tell them. And in a sense, essentially what most traditional landing pages are is you click on a link, you click on a Google ad, and the company dumps all of the information that they want their prospects to know on this landing page. They try to pack as much information, as much necessary information as possible onto this landing page. And what ends up happening is prospects just don't have the patience, they don't have the attention span to actually process all of this. They end up skimming it, and as a result, most of them end up dropping, or they switch to another tab and they procrastinate, and they say they're gonna go through with the lead generation process at a later time. And that's just wasted money. That's just a $30 click that the American Capital Group has wasted. And it's just money they're giving away to Google. And the conversational landing page is sort of a reimagining of this experience. You essentially take the same information that's there on this page and you reorganize it in a way that a prospect has to engage in a conversation with a chatbot to reveal information and to generate a lead. And I'd say that the underlying design philosophy, or the guiding philosophy for a conversational landing page is that less is more. At any given stage of a conversational landing page, just because it is a conversation, just because it's in a chat interface, you're dealing with less information at a time. You have to read only a couple of messages at every stage of the conversation. For example, right now, I started the lead generation process, and it's going to ask me for the same fields that are there in the form on the left side, but it's going to ask them from me one at a time. So I'm confronted with all the fields that I need to look at. So conversational landing page essentially takes everything that's on this landing page, all the information that's there. It organizes it on the back end, and a user has to essentially engage in a conversation to reveal that information. And in the process, what happens is it converts this impersonal, unengaging, sometimes overwhelming process into an engaging conversation. So rather than filling out a form, you have to engage in a conversation. Where in the form, it just asks for your name and you type it in. Over here, I give it my name and it says, "Nice to meet you, Arnav. What's the name of your company?" And it just feels more human, it feels more personal, and it feels more engaging. And the end result is, well, it's engagement. The conversational landing page experience feels more engaging. You get to as a prospect, you get to consume more of the information because it's in bite-sized chunks, and you're constantly given feedback from the page. You give it a little bit, you give it a piece of information, and it rewards you with message bubbles on the screen. And the end result of this engagement is that you can, if you're a business, you can capture more of your prospects' attention. And when you can capture more of their attention, they spend more time on your page, and that means that a higher proportion of them are going to convert into actual leads. And in our experience, it's usually been in the order of 2 to 3x. So if you are getting 100 leads with your old landing page, you will now get 200 leads for the same amount of ad spend, for the same amount of money you're paying to Google. And actually, if this is the sort of thing that does interest you and you might consider implementing it, or you're just interested in this sort of marketing stuff, marketing related content, I would highly suggest that you check out our full guide, which we will link in the comments or in the CTA at the end of the video. In the guide, we will discuss how you can go about converting a traditional landing page like the one on the left into a conversational landing page like the one on the right. And we go into immense detail. We really try to include as much tactical knowledge in the creation of these conversational landing pages as we can in a video. It tends to be a little longer, but we really cover everything. We cover everything from what sorts of words you should use in the first couple of messages, how you should structure the lead generation flow, which questions you should ask first, and we even talk about what color you should make the message bubbles. So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, check the link in the comments or in the CTA at the end.